Hey, welcome or welcome back. My name is Jennifer, and here on my channel, I like to chat about all things beauty and makeup when I'm recording, which I haven't been doing lately. And I'm going to do a chatty get ready with me today, kind of talking more about that, where I've been, what I've been doing, what I've been up to, why I haven't been recording or posting any videos. So if that sounds like content you'd enjoy, then sit back, relax, and let's get into the video. All right, so I thought today I would start off by using the Lethal Cosmetics Velvet Dusk Powder Pressed Palette. This is not a new palette. I don't even know if they still sell it on their website. It looks like so. And inside looks like this. This is one of the few palettes that I have kept the outer sleeve for, only because the shade names are on here. I even checked and the shade names aren't like on the back of the shades, which is kind of annoying because one of the selling points for Lethal Cosmetics to me is that their shades or their eyeshadows can be mix and matched. They're all magnetic and come out of the pan really easily, but that's okay. I do have a label maker now, so I could go through and label everything if I wanted to. It's been a while since I've done a get ready with me, so I'm like super out of practice on talking about products, talking while I'm doing things, multitasking, etc. Oh yeah, I'm missing the nail sticker on this nail, and I can't be bothered to fix it because I'm gonna change these out tonight or tomorrow. So my apologies if that bugs you, that I am not balanced. I'm incomplete on my nails, but that's just the way it is. So I went in with an eye primer, and I used the Sigma eyeshadow base primer in the shade Ignite. I used to have Persuade, and I used it all, and they were sold out for so long that I was finally like, fine, I'll try Ignite. It works fine. Like it does what it says it's gonna do. It's just Persuade is more of like a cooler tone, and this one is more like actually my skin tone. I just feel like Persuade covered some of my darkness on my eyes a little bit better. And then I'm just going to go in and set it with a setting powder. Right now I've been using the Tarte Shape Tape Press Powder in the shade 10N Fair Neutral. And this is how much progress I've made. This is almost all exclusively from setting my eyeshadow primer. I do use it sometimes to kind of like mattify if I have spots that end up being like super, super oily or shiny looking, mainly during the summer. I don't really have that problem in the winter. And even though it's just fall here, it's already gotten to be where my skin just wants like all the hydrating ingredients it can get. So because of that, I am going to go ahead and put on a face primer so it has time to set in while I do my eyeshadow. I'm going to use the Tarte Hydrating Primer. This one is the base tape. Tarte, man, they find something that works and sells and they just name everything after that. But I mean, that's no different from a lot of other brands. I mean, look at Charlotte Tilbury with her Pillow Talk everything, and NARS with their Orgasm everything, which that's so annoying. So yeah, they're not the first. They won't be the last. But it does kind of crack me up. I don't know if I've gotten sensitive to this primer or if my skin was just more sensitive when we came back from the beach, which is very possible. But I've been noticing I have like a lot of redness after I like wash my face, and It gets red again when I put my primer on, but I just think it's my skin being annoyed that I'm like disturbing it. So this palette is kind of on the chopping block for me. So I wanted to see, you know, how I feel about it. There's not a lot of light shades in this palette. So I may dip into another one. I don't think I have any sitting out that I would necessarily dip into for other neutral shades, but I have my all done up that's really close by, and this one has some good, like, very light shades. So I think I'm gonna keep this one close by and just out on my vanity. So the real reason we're here is, where the hell have you been, Jennifer? That's a very good question. That is a great question. I've been here. Honestly, not really in my beauty room because it gets so hot over the summertime that I can't stand to be in here. I need my little mirror. There we go. Yeah, I can't stand to be in here because it's so freaking hot. But I have been doing my makeup in my office, and now that it's back to like a normal temperature in this room, I'm like slowly cleaning, organizing. I did film a collection and declutter. I have some more of that to film, but I wanted to actually edit first before I filmed more, because I'm using a new it's not really a tripod, but a new camera stand for my phone. I got it from a company called Hey Paparazzo. Honestly, they like targeted me on Instagram with an ad, and I didn't buy directly from that, but I did go and like research it a bit more, and it looked like something I would enjoy and like I needed to use for my phone. And it's got this nice little light on it, which I do use when I am doing overhead shooting, but I really don't want to use it right now because it kind of blinds me, and then I end up seeing spots because it's facing towards me right now. But I will use it for like intros and outros because I do like some of the illumination that it gives. It's a nice warm light. It has 3 different settings, but the warmth is like just right for a lot of camera angles. All right, so I just went in with the shade here, which I honestly couldn't even tell you what shade that is because I don't know. I'm assuming that is the shade Hollow. Like, I think if I'm looking at these, they match and they're not reversed, if that makes sense. Yeah, because that would be lithium and that would be corrosion. So I'm going to use the shade Inertia next. Not that anyone really cares. I'm going in with this shade. And I think I want a smaller brush. I just had one. Where did it go? Whatever. I don't ever pay attention to what brushes I'm using either, y'all. This is like I think it's SL Miss Glam brush. Oh, there it is. Yes, it is. It's the Blend Beauty P18. And before that, I was using the Luxie 205 Tapered Blending. Again, not that anyone cares. So last year, mid-August, I got a promotion, and when that happened, a lot changed in my life. Like, as far as my work went. It was a lot more challenging than any other promotion I've had to date. So it was just a lot for me to get used to, a lot for me to learn. To start with, they didn't really have anyone to take over the duties that I had on my previous role, but I still needed to like get a jump start on learning the new role at the same time. So for like a month and a half, 2 months, I was doing almost 2 jobs at once. And I mean, my leadership was great about it, right? So like if I missed a deadline for my new job, she completely understood. If I needed to hand something off, either supervisor understood, you know, that there's only one me and there were 2 jobs that needed to be done. So I appreciate that they didn't expect like the world from me, but I am a perfectionist, so I expected the world from myself, unfortunately. So I really wanted to do a good job. I didn't want to let anything, you know, slip through the cracks. And I just put a lot of pressure on myself. So that was overwhelming. I don't even remember when I really stopped filming. I know I thought I was coming back to YouTube at one point, and I filmed and posted that I was back, and then like just everything fell apart again. When I got a little bit more into my role, I really did think that I was going to start filming again. And I actually filmed an entire collection and declutter series that I never posted. And if you've ever done one of those, you know that they are a lot of work to film. I edited like the first video. I know for sure I finished editing, and I don't remember if I finished editing the second video, but I could not get it to upload. I couldn't get the videos to load to like the shared server that I was using from my iPad. And so I finally just got really frustrated and was like, yeah, no, I'm so done with this. I'm not doing this anymore. And since then, of course, you know, it went into Christmas and the New Year and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, just life happened. And about 2 months ago, I was really starting to feel the urge to film again, and post again, not just film, you know, actually edit and post. And so I talked to my husband. This shade comes off more green than it does turquoise, and I was really trying to match more of what I had going on here, like teal, but that's okay. So when I talked to my husband, you know, I told him, you know, I'm really frustrated trying to edit and upload. You know, if you can help me figure it out, I'd really love to start filming again. And so we looked into a few different options, and ultimately he went and he bought me a MacBook so that I could drop straight from my iPhone to my MacBook and edit on the MacBook and then upload straight from there. So I didn't have to do this any like in between server thing. That was really frustrating me. I'm going in now with this shade, which I think I said before was Corrosion. So I'm hoping that I like editing on the MacBook. I think I just want a mouse that I can use with it, and then I'll be pretty good to go. The mouse pad just isn't quite as responsive as I would like it to be, and it kind of frustrates me sometimes, but I have learned a few keyboard shortcuts, so that helps. So I'm almost done editing my first video on it, so that's good. Figured I would go ahead and try to film a Get Ready With Me, and then maybe film my intro and outro I filmed them before, but I accidentally filmed them in a different orientation. And I wanted to use the same intro and outro for each video instead of doing like specialized ones. So I really didn't feel like using like the wrong orientation video for each one. Okay, I just muddied that up a little bit. Now it looks kind of purpley like a bruise. My bad. I overblended. It's a little bit my fault. I got a little carried away talking and blending. Okay. If you've never seen me do a get ready with me before, my eyes are always like, trust the process for me. So we're gonna trust the process. I'm debating if I want to use a shimmer from this palette or if I want to use something from a different palette or use a single. Like, I don't think I want to use this coppery color. It's really pretty. And Lethal's, most of their singles are beautiful, but they're not like super like sparkly impactful. Like, they're shiny, but they're not going to be like what you get from Cleona or what I've seen people have from like Ensley Rain or Bella Beauté Bar, those types of shades. You know what? I have two of my Glamlight palettes sitting out right here. Like, I feel like this is calling me, you know? Like, yeah. I feel like that's where we're at. Or do we want to use the purple palette? I think the Retro Raggy. Okay, so with Glamlight shimmers, I use a glitter glue. Actually, with most shimmers, I use a glitter glue because if you've noticed, I do have, you know, some wrinkles on my eyes, and this one part of my crease that never wants to hold eyeshadow, doesn't matter what the brand is, but honestly, unless I pull my eyelid down, you're not gonna see it when I'm just talking to you and blinking and just being like, you know, a normal human being in interactions. But if I walk up to you and I'm like, hey, do you know where my eyeshadow doesn't stick there? Like, then you can see it. So we're not gonna worry about that. If you can hear my son, I'm sorry. He gets really rowdy when he's playing video games. So I just used the NYX glitter primer. I say glitter glue, but it is not a glue, it's a primer. I was so confused when I first started watching makeup videos. I was like, wait, people put glue on their eyelids? That is so weird. Is there a specific brand of glue that they use? Like, I was thinking craft glue because like that's traditionally what I've always done is crafting. So I think I'm gonna go in with that deep teal shade first, and there is some fallout with these, I'm sure. Let me use this mirror. But that's fine. I haven't done my doohickey yet. I haven't done my base yet. I don't think I want to use the purple or blurple shade in here. Do I want to go green or like lime green? I think I want to use that next green shade. One heads up, these Glamlight shimmers, they do stain. So I am glad that I used an eyeshadow primer. So I'm just gonna put this right up next to that other shade. blend this way, blend back that way, blend a little bit this way. Oops, yep, right finger. And now they lay next to each other pretty nicely, if you can see it. We had some other stuff go on. So my husband had another arm and wrist surgery, so that sucked for him. He has a giant scar going like all the way. I don't remember if I had stopped filming before he had that, but that sucked for him so much. I hate it. But when I went and got my tattoo for my 40th birthday, he got one with me, and he got one to cover up the scar that was like facing him on the wrist that was bothering him. Man, I got quite a bit of eyeshadow there. All right, I'm gonna have to use something else to get that off. It's fine. We'll move on and then I'll clean it up. But overall, we're still married, still happily married. I guess I should specify that, not just married, but happily married. Okay, I'm gonna go clean myself up and clean this up, and then I'll be back to finish. I just, every time I touch something, I get more of this eyeshadow in places. All right, so I was able to get most of that off. There's still some glitter, but I honestly don't care about some glitter fallout. I love glitter. It doesn't bother me one bit. I will say one thing that's changed, I have gotten so much discoloration around my eyes, especially on the outer portion of my eyes. I've always had some discoloration there, but it's definitely gotten a lot worse in the last year or so, which I really don't appreciate. But that's okay. I think today I want to use the Ulta Beauty Complexion Crush foundation. I have mine in the shade Fair Neutral. So at one point last year, I got super frustrated and fed up with how much weight I was gaining. And it didn't seem to matter like what I tried to do with my diet. It felt like I always ended up at the same place. I think I just put way too much of this foundation on. But that's okay. Freaking kids. It didn't seem to matter what I did with my diet and exercise. Like, I couldn't stick to it for long before I was just like, I'm starving. Like, I need to eat. Or I felt like I was overtaken by like this addicted sugar monster. And so I started the journey of trying to go on a GLP-1 weight loss medication. And so if you're not familiar with the term GLP-1, that's going to be, if you've heard, which you probably have because it's like a running joke in the media and you know, stuff now. Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Saxenda, I think is one, if I'm remembering the name right. So I went to my doctor and she agreed to prescribe it for me. And my insurance company was like, no, you have to try step therapy. And I was like, okay, I'll play your game. So the step therapy was like a medication I've taken before, and I tolerated it fine. When I took it, it wasn't really for weight loss, but that was definitely a positive effect. But what happened is after it stopped being effective, I stopped taking it completely. And then that's when like the weight gain began, when I just felt like it was completely out of control. It was like while I was it was like while it was working really well. And then when it stopped working, it was like I couldn't lose any more weight. But then when I went off of it completely, it was like a midnight train to overnight weight gain, like just immediately gaining weight, even though my diet didn't really change initially. Initially, it didn't really change. So anyways, I had to go back on that again, and that, I can't remember what the name of it is. It's also like used for seizures and migraines. It might come to me. I'm sorry. So I went back on that and I lost like, I don't know, 5 pounds. And I was like, dude, like this has been so slow going, and you don't really want to stay on it for the long term. But even so, like before, when it stopped working, like it had already started becoming less effective. So within like the first month, I already had to increase my dose, and I was eventually like pretty much maxed out on the dosage of the medication of what would be appropriate for me to take for like off-label weight loss purposes. So we looked at everything, and I'm using my Sigma Spectrum Color Correcting Duo. This is in the shade light to medium. I'm like scraping the last little bit out for the left shade, trying to use it up. I do miss the other shade, but that's okay. I have a whole other color corrector to go through before I will rebuy this, but I will rebuy this one when I'm ready to purchase another color corrector. So my doctor prescribed Wegovy again, and insurance denied it again, but she refused to prescribe the other medications to me because I have some contraindicated medications and issues. So like anxiety being one of them, for example. Medical conditions, that's the word I was looking for instead of issues. Yeah, so I have anxiety. There's some medication that I take that you really shouldn't take them together. There's like some warnings about it. I think to use the rest of this up, I may have to use a brush next time, but I think I have maybe one more use left on this thing. So insurance said no. I still needed to do step therapy, but we submitted an appeal letter. And ultimately, they agreed I could, in fact, take Wegovy. However, that is when the national shortage of Wegovy began. So, very poor timing for me. So, I couldn't find the medication anywhere. Like, I tried and tried. So went back to the doctor, and the doctor was like, well, let's try Zepbound. And what was so dumb is that I had to start over the process for prior authorization all over again. Well, I didn't have to take that one medication again. That was fine. But insurance stuck to their guns. It was the exact same step therapy listed for Wegovy as was listed on Zepbound. And so I had to start all over again and appeal, and they denied my appeal. I even got a letter from my physician, not my physician. I actually went to like an actual weight loss clinic that knows what they're doing because my doctor doesn't. And I think I need to set with a little bit of setting powder today. I think I overdid it. My bad. So that was really frustrating. So finally, we looked at our finances. We shuffled around some stuff, like canceled a few things, and ultimately landed on, I was just going to pay for it out of pocket, but I was going to go compound. So if you're not familiar with compounded medication, any medication typically can be compounded. Now, if it's a medication like Zepbound or Wegovy, what's going to happen is, sorry, I'm not very good at this because I don't usually powder my under eyes. I want to make sure I didn't over powder. I did not, but how did there get to be like this fuzzy on my eyelash? Probably cat hair. Knowing my house, and the cats hang out in this room the most. Like the kittens. They're not kittens anymore, guys. They're cats. They are, well, I mean, technically they're kittens, but they're full grown. They're huge. So because there was a national shortage of Wegovy and Zepbound listed by the FDA, the compounding pharmacies were able to make these in the regular dosage, that the medication currently is available in commercially or from the manufacturers. I think I've been trying to work on this alley-oop. My goodness. I've been trying to work on this alley-oop bronzer. It's a stack with like a bronzer, blush, and highlight. And so I eventually would like to hit pan in the bronzer. I just don't know that it will like ever happen. Archie, you did not need to jump up here, dude. Oh my God, Arch. What are you doing? I'm trying to do my makeups. What? You want out? Yeah, so this is in Sassy Pants, and it's the Stack the Odds trio. I got this in BoxyCharm. It's definitely nothing I ever would have picked out for myself, but it's actually kind of a lovely bronzer. I really need like a blending brush. What I really need is to wash my brushes, and then I would have the appropriate tools at the ready and not feel like I need a blending brush typically. I don't super love the blush in here. It's pretty, but meh. I have other cream blushes I like better, and I don't like the highlighter. I just don't like cream highlight, period. It may be lovely. Maybe I'll grow into it eventually. I don't know. I try it every couple of times I use this thing, and I still haven't really grown to enjoy cream highlight. I'm not really sure why. And I have a few, like not a lot, but I do have a few. I want to use my Super Shock Cheek from ColourPop in the shade No Way. I don't know if this is a stiff enough brush, but I'm gonna try it. Yeah, it looks fine. So any whoosies, I ultimately decided to go compound. Long story short, we went compounded. So I ended up going with a company called Emerge Weight Loss, and all I had to do was like fill out a form and then send them a video of myself stating like my name, date of birth, and current weight. And I haven't had to send them a video since then to like re-verify or anything. They just text me when my prescription is ready to be refilled and ask if I want to go at the same dose or if I would like to increase my dosage. And that's that. They send the prescription order over to the pharmacy and the compound pharmacy fills it, which has been fantastic. I started just like everyone else does on 2.5 milligrams, and then after 4 weeks I bumped up to 5 milligrams or 5 milliliters. I don't know why I said milligrams, it's a liquid. I bumped up to 5 and then it wasn't until a week or two ago, no, 2 weeks ago, I texted them back and told them that I would like to move up to 7.5. So I've just titrated up again, and I've been on it since June. Yes, I started it June 17th, and it is now the end of October. So in that amount of time, I hit 45 pounds lost yesterday, and I have a lot of weight to lose. Like I have a significant amount of weight that I need to lose. I don't have like an actual goal weight in mind per se, but it's a lot. I need to lose a lot. So 45 pounds is great though. Like I already am starting to feel better. All right, we'll just keep on theme for the cheeks, and I'm gonna use my Barbie ColourPop highlighter in the shade Beach Party, if I can get it open. Okay, this is what we're looking like. Like I've made decent progress on this bad boy. I'm so happy. I don't know that I will ever finish what I want to finish from here, but I've made progress at least. So I'll take it. And so that's just been with the medication and making a concerted effort at diet changes. No exercise yet. I actually have a weight in mind as to when I feel like if I'm still not just naturally exercising by then, I will force myself to start exercising, and I haven't reached that weight yet, so I'm okay with not exercising, but I have noticed I've been more active, like less sedentary than I was before when everything hurt to move. And if you're new here, I have an autoimmune disorder. I have rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia, and not autoimmune related officially, but I have endometriosis. I had adenomyosis, but I had my uterus taken out, so that's not really a problem anymore. I'm just gonna go in with this shade Natural right here from the Aldenette palette from Blend Bunny and do just a little bit of blending at the top. I realized I never went back and kind of did kind of like a once over blend like I usually do. This is the eye that got a little bit more muddy, but I think we're closer to matching now. It's hard to match because my eyes droop at different like levels. They don't droop equally. I was inspired by Chris at the Bedazzled Buddhist to really once and for all like take the plunge of going on Zepbound. I'd been wanting it. I'd been wanting to go on it, but it was a decent financial commitment for our family for me to go on the medication. And so I don't know. I didn't really want to be a burden to our family, but I was already a burden to our family. It just wasn't financially at that point. At least that's how it felt to me. Just being so sedentary and in so much pain all the time. And not that my pain has gone away. Like right now I am overdue for my infusion for my RA. But I still feel better than I would have if I hadn't gotten up and moving today. And prior to this, I would not have been able to get up and moving. I just would have stayed in bed all day. So it's helped some with my depression too, just being able to get up and about more. I'm a little less depressed. And not sure, but what, you know, maybe losing some weight, my medication can work more effectively. I don't know. I don't know how that works. So I'm just going on the lower lash line with that initial crease shade that I used. And I think I'm gonna go in with that darkest shade on the very outer very outer portion. I'm just using the darkest shade Corrosion. Sometimes if it's like too harsh of a line under my eyes, I'll use the trick of a fluffier brush, but just kind of bending it a little bit, not hard, like you don't use a lot of pressure, just a light little smush and blend. I learned that from the makeup chair. I watched her tutorials to learn how to do eye makeup because I literally had no idea how when I started doing makeup. Some may say I still don't know how to do eye makeup, and that's fine. I think I'm not done yet, but I think overall impressions on this palette, I love the Lethal Cosmetics mattes, but I don't know that I love all of the shimmers. So I kind of think I could probably let this one go. I could let this one. Like I think I would just want to keep these two neutrals and I could let the others go. So I probably have some other shades that I could let go. I think, so I already did my eyeshadow palette collection and declutter, but haven't done my singles yet. So I think what I may do is when I do my singles, I'll look at these palettes as though they are single shades and decide what I want to keep and what I want to declutter from these two. I think that would be maybe the smartest way for me to go about it. And then I kind of feel like just for fun, putting this lightest shimmer in the inner corner. There's so much fallout with these. I will say the mirrors in these palettes are kind of useless, so I never did take off the mirror protector, but like there's only that much space on the mirror because the cute little monster takes up half of it. But I can't bring myself to get rid of my monster. He's so cute. Do I want to use that on the inner corner or just like the innermost part of the lid? I think I just want to use it on the innermost part of the lid and the lower lash line. So what about you guys? Where have you been? What have you been up to? I haven't had a chance to catch up with everyone's channels yet. I honestly, I had to stop watching a lot of beauty YouTube. It made me really sad and depressed that I wasn't filming and that there were days I just felt too awful to even go in here and try to even pick out makeup. I got really back to it over the last several months and like really was doing my makeup. For a while, I was doing it 5 days a week, at least. Like I would, sometimes 6 days. So I would do it, I would do my makeup every day before work or on my lunch break for work, if I had like an afternoon meeting. And then I got to a point where I would do it on like Saturdays too. Sundays, I usually would take a break. And I will say, even if I was like totally on it doing my makeup so frequently all the time, I still feel like I have to give my skin a break. Like I have sensitive skin. And so I still feel like 1 or 2 days a week, I have to take a break and give my skin a break from having makeup on it. It's just the way the cookie crumbles for me, I guess. Do I want to use a shade from here? These are so pretty. I'm just rummaging through singles right now, deciding if I want to use then any of these as a true inner corner highlight. I think I'm going to use the Cleona single shade. Oops, I just stuck my fingernail in it, of course. Duchess, which doesn't look too terribly different from the Glamlight shades, but you know, alas, here we are. I will say these Cleona shades are definitely more impactful if you use like a finger or a wet brush, but for inner corner, I typically like to use a pencil brush. I just find I have better control because it's such a small area. I have 2 brow products that are hanging on for dear life. And I honestly feel like I am going to ruin this eye look with an eyeliner, but I also feel like I need an eyeliner. I think I'm going to use blue though. I have this deep navy blue from Makeup Geek I need to get some use on. It looks like it broke the last time I used it. Oh yeah, there's so much left. Yay! So I have the Rowan Vow Brow. Did it used to say Wow Brow? It's in the shade medium. Whatever it is. I usually skip and do like brows and stuff off camera, but this is it. That's all that's left of my Rowan pencil. But I feel like I would have liked to have seen people do their brows on camera a bit more when I was figuring out how to do brows with different brow products. I still have never used a pomade or a powder. It's just, I figured out that a pencil is what I enjoy and what I want to use. I don't feel the need to have my brows stick up any particular way, so I don't use a brow gel. I do have the Thick It Stick It brow glue from NYX that I used for a while. Also an e.l.f. one that I used for a little bit, but my like sensory issues got really bad a couple months ago. Well, maybe at the end of last year. And it got to the point that I could not tolerate having any of that stuff on my face. Like, I don't like gripping primers for the exact same reason. And it got to a point that I could not tolerate having brow glue on my face. It literally felt like I was putting glue in my eyebrows, and it was such an uncomfy feeling to me. Maybe it's silly, but sensory processing disorder doesn't really make a lot of sense, as I learned from my oldest daughter, who definitely has it, and my son, who definitely has it. We're just a whole family of neurodivergence over here, okay? So yeah, I would really like to finish this because we're almost there. But it feels like it's lasting a long time. I'm not mad about it because I don't necessarily want to spend a ton of money on brow products. Like, I'd much rather buy a new eyeshadow palette than 2 or 3 brow pencils. So I'm not like complaining, you know? And then this little pencil came in a BoxyCharm years ago, and I'm a little ashamed of how old it is, but also not, because I just use it under my eyebrow. I use the plain non-shiny side on the inner portion, and then I use the shiny side on the outer portion of my brow. And then I just blend it with my finger and go on with my day. I sharpen it about once a week, depending on how frequently I do my makeup. And eventually the caps will touch and I will run out of product. But until then, I'm not there yet. Almost, but not there yet. And I've never used up one of those before, so I don't know how much product is actually in there. Like, I don't know where the product stops. Do they meet in the middle? Is there empty space in the middle? I have no idea. No clue. But that is from $1 Billion Brows. I don't know how I remember that, because the writing definitely wore off of that pencil eons ago. I think I am going to go off camera to do my eyeliner, though. That's quite boring, and I quite need to concentrate, and I'm not very good at talking while I do it. Okay, I'm back. This is the finished look. I realized I hadn't bothered to even brush my hair today, so my bad. I used the Tarte, here it is, Tartelette Tubing Mascara. I just have found that my eyes prefer tubing mascara. They're bougie little eyeballs. And then I use the Nabla Beyond Jelly lipstick in the shade Dia, which I got in the last Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. I really want a Beyond Blurry lippy, but those kept selling out. And they're even, the last time I looked on the site, are sold out again, even though they are not even freaking on sale. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, let me know. What do you think? How do you think this look turned out? Also, I think I'm back. I'm not going to commit to that because the last time I did that, I ended up like ghosting for a year or more. So I would really like to get into doing just a few get ready with me's. I'd like to do 1 video, 2 a week. And I really miss doing project painting content, and I miss doing Shop My Stash. So I would love to do those again. Just as I figure out editing and this new phone stand, hopefully I will be able to get into that more. So thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you so much to all of the sweet comments and messages I've gotten letting me know that I am missed in this community, in this very tiny, tiny little corner of mine. You guys are so awesome, and I've missed doing this, so you've made it easy to want to come back. Other than that, I hope if you like this video, you'll give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. And hopefully I'll be seeing you again soon. Bye.